Welcome to Queen of All Saints Basilica. A special welcome to our Lenten series in keeping with the theme of Lent for the Parish this year, Wandering Forward. We are offering you each week of Lent a reflection on the wanderings in the Bible, especially from the book of Exodus. Each week, we will reflect on the principal persons and events in the Exodus story. As you hear these reflections each week, I recommend you watch Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments. Hollywood's production of the biblical stories can leave a lasting impression that one cannot gain from just turning the pages of the good book. Watching the movie The Ten Commandments will help you understand better the story that is so central to the people of the Old Testament, our ancestors in faith. The protagonist in the Exodus story is Moses. In a short 5-minute reflection, my aim is to focus on two incidents in the early adult life of Moses: his failure and his call. Moses grew up in the royal house of Pharaoh. He was rescued as a child from the river Nile by Pharaoh's daughter, who brought him into her household and raised him as a royal. Even though Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh, Moses was not ignorant of his ancestry and identified with his people's plight, the Hebrew people who were working as slaves for the Pharaoh. Moses was in a tough situation. The Egyptians did not consider Moses one of their own. He is also unlike his own people. He was not a slave like them. One day, Moses sees a Hebrew slave being whipped by the master builder. Moses attacks the Egyptian, kills him, and buries him in the ground. The next day, Moses sees two Hebrews fighting, and he tries to mediate. And the Hebrews immediately say to Moses, "What are you going to do? Are you going to do to us what you did to the Egyptian? Who made you prince over us?" Moses' cover is blown. He flees to the land of Midian. What this story tells us is that Moses tried to save his people on his own, and he failed. He has to be prepared for his work as a deliverer. Sometimes we undertake the responsibility of correcting others or saving others even when they don't want to be saved. And we face disappointment. Moses in Midian settles down to a family life. He marries, does household chores, raises a family, and keeps watch over his father-in-law's flock. And then the divine encounter happens. Moses sees a burning bush that is not consumed by the fire. Intrigued by this phenomena, Moses approaches the bush that is burning but not consumed. And a voice calls out immediately, "Moses, Moses, do not come near. Take off your sandals." And the voice then identifies himself as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And God says, and these are important words, "I have seen the affliction of my people. I have heard their cry, and I will come to deliver them." And he calls Moses and says, "You are going to Pharaoh, and you're going to deliver my people." God also reveals to Moses his name, "I am." What's most important here that I want to reflect with you is the first words that are spoken to Moses. "Do not come near. Take off your sandals." As we approach the divine, we are to remove all facades we have built up, all false protection we have relied on. We have to put an end to the charades. Our God sees us as we are. We come before our God without pretense, in all our humility, in our weakness, to a God who anointed Moses, empowered him, strengthened him to lead his people from slavery into freedom. As we journey through this Lenten season, let us in humility recognize our own sinfulness and remember that despite our sinfulness, our weakness, God still calls each one of us into a land, into a time, into a people with a promise. May we go forth throughout this Lenten season, journeying through the desert till we reach the promised glory of Easter.